What is shaking, everybody? It's MrScaryMuffin, and this week I want to talk about PAX. I actually have a lot to talk about, so let's skip right to it. I arrived in Seattle after a 3-hour drive on Thursday, and I stayed overnight at a friend's place. The reason why I arrived a day before the show was because I need to pick up my media passes. For those of you guys who don't know, I freelance for a children's website. I do a lot of video game reviews and other things like that. And I get a media pass every year. I think this is my 6th year with a media pass, and I've been doing work at PAX every year. Usually, I have appointments and interviews. I see some games, I demo some stuff, but I like getting the media pass because I don't have to worry about queuing up for passes and all that kind of stuff. I don't have to buy it, and I get to write off some of my travel expenses as well, which is a nice bonus. Anyways, the media people, the guys who were handling the media stuff for PAX this year, was particularly disorganized, and they really didn't have anything prepared up until like the day before. Like on the Wednesday, they send out like, okay, here's where you guys can pick up your passes and all that kind of stuff, and the pickup times were terrible on Friday. If you wanted to pick up your media pass on Friday, you would basically miss the media hour, which is the hour before the show starts. You get to access the exhibition hall, and then you basically less crowds, and you can see all the stuff without having to book appointments, and it's particularly very helpful. And I take advantage of it. It's like the 3rd year that they had a media hour, which was a really good idea. And so the reason I had to go up on Thursday is so that I could pick up the badges and not have to worry about picking it up on Friday morning. And I didn't have a hotel booked for Thursday, so I stayed over at a friend's place who happens to live in Seattle, and so that was really nice. They had to put up with me for a day, put up me and Jasmine, and yeah. So the hotel situation was actually kind of crazy because I didn't book my hotels until a little bit later. I actually had to book 2 different hotels because I couldn't find one that could accommodate me for the entire long weekend. Anyways, Friday we get to the event, and the media hour was pretty cool. I used that 1 hour to check out Nintendo stuff, so I played Pikmin 3, which was pretty fun. I do recommend it. Mario 3D for the 3DS was okay. It's very still Mario bland, nothing new kind of stuff to me. I didn't try the Donkey Kong game, so I can't really say anything about that. I got to try my hands on a PS4, and I was trying out the new Quantic Dreams game. Quantic Dreams is the guys who did Heavy Rain, and they have one called Beyond Souls, I believe, where you're playing this like girl or character, and she's like connected to some kind of ghost guy, and he helps her manipulate stuff in the environment. It's pretty cool. The graphics were really nice. I think that that game really showcased the graphic power of the PS4 very well. I didn't get to use too much of the motion sensors and the touchpad kind of stuff, so I can't really say too much about it. The controller felt fine. It's just like the PS thing, except with this touchpad thing in the middle. I also tried out the Xbox One as well. I played the Killer Instinct game with Jazz, and Jazz actually whooped my ass because she's much better at learning fighting games from scratch than I am. Either that or she had a character that was easier to use. Let's go with that one. But it's not my first time I got my ass whooped by Jazz in a fighting game. But yeah, so we tried that one out. The Xbox One, the controller pretty much the same, is a little bit more compact and smaller, which is fine. Didn't really get a chance to see too much of the graphic capability. I did see some people play Titan Falls, and that looked like a pretty cool game. Anyways, Titan Falls is like a FPS, but there's like a whole bunch of mechs that you can hop in and like shoot people and stuff like that, and it's a pretty cool FPS. I really think it's coming out next year. So you might see more information about that later on. I did got my eyes on the Oculus Rift, the 3D thing. I got to try a demo of it, which was I just sat in a race car and the race car just drove around and I just looked around. The head tracking on that thing was actually pretty darn good. I tried to fake it out by moving my head at different speeds and different angles and stuff like that, but it followed my where I was looking really, really well. I was really impressed with that. Didn't really have they didn't sync the head tracking to the audio, so there's none of that. And I think eventually down the line, if they ever sync up the audio with the head tracking, so like if you turn your head, the sound would also change depending on where you're looking, right? I think that would really, really up the immersion entirely. The Oculus was actually really comfortable over glasses. They designed it so that people with glasses can wear it, and I was quite pleasantly surprised that it worked out that well. Taking it off, it's a little bit weird. Like you're gonna pull your glasses and then scratch your eyes a little bit. Even with somebody helping you take it off, it's not actually that hard. It's like wearing one of those like night vision goggles kind of stuff. But the thing I really don't like about it is that you can't see outside of the Oculus. So if you need to like check your controller for whatever the heck you're doing, like you need to find a button or whatever, you can't do that. If the phone rings and you have to pick up the phone, it's gonna take you like 15 seconds of fumbling in order to get the thing off your face in order to answer the phone, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do that. In terms of innovating the game industry with 3Dness and immersion stuff, I'm not quite seeing it just yet. I mean, everybody wants VR, I can understand that, but in my mind, I don't think Oculus is the thing for it. I don't think it is the right direction or the right way of implementing it. But the technology being used for it, the software being developed for it, is pretty good, and I'm pretty sure when something does come out, that is the way to do it. They'll definitely have some good foundations for it. When the show actually did started, I checked out some Capcom stuff. Jasmine was checking out some Popcast stuff. She was playing Bejeweled Blitz. She was playing what was she playing? She played the Plants vs. Zombie 2 game as well. I also went to the Twitch TV thing and grabbed a couple of T-shirts. They were giving away to like the first 200 people to visit their photo booth. If you guys follow my Twitter, you probably saw that I put up those the Twitch TV pics. And actually, I totally forgot for the swag video earlier this week, or on Thursday rather. I forgot to show the T-shirts that I got, but I only had 2 or 3 different T-shirts. So I had a Twitch TV shirt, I had the Bejeweled Blitz shirt, and I might have another one that I don't really remember off the top of my head. The reason I didn't show it in my swag video is because I put them into a laundry load and they were being hung to dry, so I couldn't really grab them for the video, and I totally forgot about it. Anyways, checked out some board games at PAX. I think starting like 3rd year of PAX, so my first year was 2007, so starting like 2009, 2010, I really connected with the board game stuff, and we would stay up till 3 a.m. Playing board games in the exhibition hall before they kicked us out of the convention center. But I think since then my interest in board games kind of dwindled a little bit, or at least my patience with board games has dwindled a little bit. I've been playing so much prototypes and stuff like that for another job that I've been working in board game design, and I don't know, wasn't quite into it as much. And this year, I mean, I played Hate As My Fish. It was kind of fun. Battle of Westeros took way too long to set up, but it was pretty decent as a war game. I played Yami, David Serlin game. That was actually a really cool game. I liked it a lot, although Jazz had a pretty broken character, or either that or her character like hard countered me. And again, it's a card game based on a fighting game, and Jasmine just whooped my ass in it. It was pretty funny. We did buy Pathfinder, the adventure card game. I tried it out afterwards, and it's very close to a game I've been prototyping, and so that makes me a little bit nervous for the company I'm working for. But the game itself, it seems a little bit simplistic and seems a little bit mechanical, like the way you go through it. I'm not entirely convinced it's the best way of implementing Pathfinder the RPG into an adventure card game. I don't know. It dumbs it down maybe a little bit too much, I think. So I'm not too sure. I got one expansion for it kind of on a whim, but I'm not too sure if I'll be picking up any more later on. I might just stick to just the D&D itself, not the D&D, the RPG, the tabletop RPG itself. I checked out the Sentinels of the Multiverse game, which is a really cool co-op game that my friends really enjoy. I also find that one a little bit mechanical, but I was tempted to try some stuff and try to help them get bonus cards, but they all actually ran out before I could do that kind of stuff, unfortunately. Friday night, there was a media event for Fantasia, which is a harmonics game, the same guys who made Rock Band. They're doing a Disney Fantasia game called Music Evolved, or Fantasia Music Evolved, and I got to try it with the new Xbox One Connect. And Xbox One Connect, I feel, still has the same issues that the regular Connect had prior. It's a little bit better, but not that much better. And Fantasia itself looks really interesting, and they still have another year to work on it. It's supposed to come out fall 2014, I believe. So they have a long time to work on it, and the way it is right now, it's interesting, but it's not really my cup of tea, I suppose. I really was hoping for something that was much more akin to directing, like conducting music, like I love the fact that they have classical music on. I want to wave my hand, keep time, tell those instruments to be louder, and kind of go boom, boom, just like you see when conductors are doing that kind of stuff. I want to see that kind of thing. And when Wii Music came out, that didn't quite get there as well. So I'm still waiting for something like that to get my hands into. Fantasia is interesting. I think kids will definitely enjoy it, and I think that's their intended audience. So you can't really say too much against it if it's not really your cup of tea in particular. Anyways, Saturday I had an appointment with Sega. I checked out a couple of their stuff. Sonic Lost Worlds is pretty darn decent, and it's basically like Super Mario Galaxy, because Sonic will go between different worlds and kind of stuff like that. But the level design looks pretty solid, and there is a lot of gotta run fast stuff, but still some control. Like you hold down a sprint button now instead of just sprinting at full speed at all times. So you have chances to slow down and react to some things as opposed to just running as fast as you can and memorizing the route so you can do it better next time, kind of thing. With some Sonic games were like that, but it's nice being able to slow it down and try to make it on your first run. And it's cool too because, like, say you have a world. In Mario Galaxy, you had like the spheres, but in Sonic, there's a lot of cylinders, and you can walk around that cylinder, and there's different paths across the cylinder itself, and some paths are harder than others to get through, and so that's kind of cool. So you can kind of choose a path or choose different paths and find more things. There's a lot of exploration. Seems like a lot of replay value as well, and I have a feeling that people who like Super Mario Galaxy, people who were fans of the old Sonic, will enjoy this game a lot. They did bring back a couple of things. There's like a new villain. The Sonic Colors sidekicks are all in the game as well a little bit. So I mean, there's all that kind of stuff. But I think the gist and the core of the game, it's moving in the right direction, and should be a fairly good game in the end. I also checked out something that was being published by Sega, not developed though. There's a game called Hiroki, which is a action platformer for the iOS, and you're controlling this like box-like hovercraft thing with propellers on his head, and you can pick up boxes and throw them at people, and it's actually pretty good, I feel. It should be coming out soon, I believe. I tried it out. I was talking to the developer for it, and the game looks pretty decent. It's too bad that it's only going to be for the iOS, but it has some neat touch things. I'm hoping that maybe it'll come out for the 3DS as well. But it seems like a pretty decent iOS game as well. It's something, for $5, it's not bad to pick it up. Saturday they had Elder Scrolls Online had this food truck thing, and they were giving out like grilled cheese sandwiches, and you guys see like little demos of their game and things like that. So Jazz and I lined up for that pretty early on. It was supposed to start at 11:30. We lined up at like 11 o'clock, I think, and there was already a lineup around the block for it. Luckily, we managed to get the food. It took about an hour and a half. I think by 12:30 we were out of the lineup. We had like a giant ice cream. I don't know why they did this. They had like, how there's like little individual size portions of ice cream, right? Like the tiny little Haagen-Dazs ones, and you're like, oh, that's way too little. It's like maybe 2 scoops of ice cream max. They gave something that was like 4 times the size of that. It was huge, ridiculously huge, and it's like 4 times, but 8 times in volume or something like that, you know, because cubes and stuff. And there was way too much ice cream for anybody to eat. Like, I swear to goodness, like, even big guys, they were only ate half the ice cream and dumped the rest. And they were giving out the ice cream to people who were waiting in line for the food, so then you are eating ice cream first before you ate your food. And, I mean, you know, I can understand you just trying to get rid of the ice cream. And later on afterward, they were still trying to get rid of the ice cream. They brought way too much ice cream. But the sandwiches were decent. I didn't even get to use the sauce that they gave with it. They tried to like name things like after the stuff from the world of Elder Scrolls, and everyone's just like, yeah, just give me the pesto sauce. Just give me the spicy marinara, or whatever they call it, kind of thing. It was pretty funny. But I was glad that I lined up early because I got at 12:30, and 12:30 was actually when they were signing up people for the TF2 LAN tournament at PAX. And I had put a shout out earlier on the DSG, the Duck Soup Gaming forum, and I was like, please, 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 let's try to get together, guys, at 12:30. Let's try to do this thing. I got there. Linares was there with her brother, and Inkster was there. Raisin said he was going to show up, but then he slept in and couldn't make it. We were hoping Bungles Bob would show up, but he didn't make it. I know Kendomo was at the show. I know Panksters was at the show. I know a few other people were at the show, but nobody else showed up. So it was myself, Linares, her brother, Inkster, and we grabbed the random stranger. His name was Hayo, and we all played together. It was a 5v5 tournament. It was really weird. They always try to do some kind of weird twist for all these tournaments so that people who are super whatever have to adapt. So for the TF2 tournament, it was 5v5 with maximum, I think it was like 1 demo. No, it wasn't even 1 demo. It was just like maximum 2 of any class. So you could have 2 medics, you could have 2 demos, you could have 2 heavies, whatever. But all the maps were CTF. So we played 2 Fort, we played Turbine, not Turbine Pro, just normal Turbine. We played Sawmill, Capture the Flag Sawmill, and we played Double Cross. And there was 10 teams in total. 2 teams got a bye on the first round, and we played every single round, but we ripped teams to shreds. I think the first team we played, they started off, they didn't roll out with a medic or an engineer, whereas we stuck Lunaris on engineer, since it's Capture the Flag, right? So we stuck Lunaris on engineer, and I was playing medic, and we were rolling people so hard. We were so well coordinated and excellent communications. The random stranger who was with a Hayo, he actually played like UGC Highlander. He was like Gold League or something. And I'm like, yeah, good enough. You know how to communicate. Lunaris' brother, Jared, he plays a little bit. He just didn't know the maps that well. And I think he got into the groove of communication with us, which was great. And before every round, we knew what map we were going to be playing next, so I would always walk him through the map, showing him where he needs to be as a heavy, which is probably the class that he felt most comfortable with. And yeah, we did pretty good. We rolled the first group so hard. I think the first round was like best 2 out of 3, and we 6-0'd them twice. It was half-hour rounds or first to 6. And we 6-0'd them twice, and one of the administrator ladies, she came by and just smacked me in the back of the head. It's like, why are you so mean to these people? Why are you rolling them so hard? We're like, you guys told us points matter for tie breaks, so I just want to make sure. They're like, well, you guys are doing fine. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. It was too late now. We rolled them. Second round on Turbine, I think we won like 6-2 or something like that. The team was a little bit better, and teams got better over time, obviously. They surprised a few times, and I mean they got 2 caps on us as well. The third game was actually quite interesting, which we won it 5-2, I think. The team was really good on defense. Every time we got to the intel on Sawmill, they would just squeeze us in and cut off both entrances and like just demolish us inside the area until we finally wised up. And what really sucked was we were making our final push for the last cap, and the admins changed the server map on us. They thought that the server was empty, or they thought that our match was done, and they changed the map, and so that caused like this little hullabaloo. where we had to ask the admins to come over, and they basically, well, they were winning 5-2. They went to the other team. The other team basically they decided just to concede because they didn't feel that they would be able to take the match if we had a rematch. And we were glad we didn't have to play another match because that would have sucked. We would have had to. It would have taken more time. The tournament actually ended like pretty much on time, which was good because I wanted to go see a not a panel but an event like right after the tournament. The final round we played on double cross, and the team was pretty good. They had pretty good soldiers. They had a sniper who had some success sniping. He did make me drop once, but I think the fact that they were running sniper in 5v5 really hurt them in the end. But they did manage to sneak past us and get a couple of caps. I think we ended around 4-2 or 5-3, something like that. It was a 2 gap, and it went to time basically, and we won on time. And it was hilarious because I got every map I played, I got at least one Ubersaw kill on people. The general level, I mean, the team that we had for that rep Duxu was pretty much mid tier in the community. I wouldn't say we were particularly good, nor are we terrible. But yeah, we were like, yeah, we're mid tier. We're telling the random stranger like, oh, don't expect too much. But we were dominating the field completely, which shows how good Duck Soup is, I suppose. And every game I had at least one Ubersaw killed. And the basis of that was because if someone is shooting at me and I turn around as a medic and I'm still not dead, it probably means that I'm a better player than that person, because you only need 2 rockets or 2 meat shots to kill the medic. So every time that happens, I was just like, okay, I could probably take this guy on 1v1, just pull the needles and then run up with the saw. And there was one time where there was a heavy facing against me and a demo, me and my demo, who was Hayo, and he was like low on ammo and everything, and he couldn't really hit the heavy from the range that we were at as well. So I Ubered him. I ran up to the heavy, sawed him once, and then like switched back to Uber before the heavy could kill me as well. It was pretty funny. We had a good laugh about that one as well. But we won, and you guys saw the stuff I won in the swag video on Thursday as well. After the TF2 tournament, I went to watch Acquisitions Inc., which is Gabe, Tycho, Scott Kurtz from PvP, and a couple other people. They play a D&D live show, and they're pretty funny guys, so it's nice to watch. I watched this like my 3rd or 4th year watching it, and I really like it. So it's like the one panel / event that I go and make every year. Right after that was a Minecraft LAN tournament, and I wanted to do that one, and so I tried to sign up. I was on a wait list because Acquisitions Inc. lasted a little bit long, and it was funny because I got into the tournament and the PAX IP was banned or blacklisted from Mojang because they had too many attempted logins and too many failed logins or something like that. And so the IP itself got banned, so nobody can log on to Minecraft from PAX at all. And so we couldn't get the thing started until like an hour and a half into the tournament. And then they had to use like their own server or something like that, and the server was terrible, everything was lagging. And the format for the Minecraft thing was this huge giant parkour race with like punching allowed, but there's no food, so you will lose saturation really fast and not be able to make sprint jumps after a while. It was really dumb in my mind, but I really can't complain too much. I mean, they really couldn't have known that they would have these issues and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I tried playing that one. I didn't do that well. They ended up just like booting everybody and just like, yep, these 3 guys made it the furthest. We'll just say they won, just because they didn't even have that much time to run the actual tournament itself after taking an hour and a half to get started. That was really unfortunate. But Jasmine did get to meet some Minecrackers who were at the event, and they were there. So she got to chat up with Kurt, Gisano, Good, and Pause as well. And I think afterwards, before the tournament ended, the whole group of them were like, oh, let's go somewhere to eat. And Jazz like, oh, I have to stay here and wait for Muffin. They're like, oh, that's too bad. Well, maybe we'll meet up again. And we actually did meet up with them again on Sunday as well. We met up a couple other people like Seth Bling, Captain Sparkles, and Aurelian as well from the Hermitcraft server as well. So yeah, I got to meet a couple of cool people. Now I get to meet them this time too, so that was nice. Um, Moving on to Sunday, I met up with some friends from Vancouver who came down. They had work prior, so they couldn't make it. And Jasmine was in a Plants vs. Zombie Land tournament that she got fourth in, which was amazing. She won prizes for that. But while she was playing that, I was hanging with my friends and we played some dive kick, which I want to do a let's play with of. So expect to see that coming up sometime on my channel. We also visited ThinkGeek. Jasmine did get something from ThinkGeek as like a giveaway thing. And then there was the Duck Soup meetup on the Sunday evening, where we met up with like Hoodridge, Blurpy, General Disarray, of course all the guys who went to play the LAN tournament with us as well. We were there. We went to Six Arms. We had some fun chatting, drinking, and I didn't drink. Well, I drank pop, but yeah. There's actually quite a surprising number of us who didn't actually drink. Like Inkster doesn't drink, Jared doesn't drink, and Blurpy only drank occasionally. And after that, we went to this pinball place called John John's, and that was pretty cool. I didn't get to stay for pie though, but I did get to perfect Hoodrich in Street Fighter 2, so that was pretty cool. One round, I perfected in one round just by accident, I think. Monday, I didn't get to do too much. I only had 2 hours before I had to leave, and I did bump. Like I was just like, you know, let's explore the exhibition hall, make sure I see everything, and I was glad I did because I saw the Gamers booth. And the Gamers had a new movie out called The Hand of Fate. If you don't know what the Gamers are, they basically do this like movie, a comedy movie based on D&D. And but The Hand of Fate was based on a card game, and it was really cool. And if you want to watch it, it's actually free to watch for another week. So check it out. It's on www.watchthegamers.com. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. If you ever get a chance to see Darkness Rising from them as well, that's a really good one. Unfortunately, this year I didn't get a chance to see too much of the Omegathon, which I really wanted to watch. I really want to watch the Battle Block one. I want to watch the Geometry Wars one, but the timing was just bad. I had appointments or I had meetups or something like that to do. If I had the full Monday to be there, I probably would have watched the finals for Omegathon, which is always awesome. I'm probably just going to watch it on YouTube later on. And I probably would have stuck around the exhibition hall because they usually throw away all the free stuff so they don't have to carry it back. So it's always great to be there on the last day. But for future PAX, I really had fun doing the tournaments this year. I think future PAX I'll probably be doing a little bit more. I'll try to find things. I was tempted to do some of the board game tournaments, but those tend to last way too long for my taste. And also, I like the meetups. I'll probably try to arrange more meetups along the way as well. I don't really do board games anymore, as I mentioned. I don't really do panels anymore either. But that will, other than checking out the exhibition hall, I want to do that kind of stuff. I did get a chance to see some of the new Pokemon XY stuff. I'm kind of like iffy on that as well. It's just like Mario. It seems like the formula hasn't really changed too much. I did get my hands on the 2DS, and the thing is actually surprisingly sturdy and actually looks pretty darn decent. Like the feel and the use of it seems pretty good. If I don't already have a 3DS and I wanted to get a system to play a 3DS game, I would recommend the 2DS. It's not that bad. I mean, most of the time you're going to be playing games at home anyways. You're not going to take it out with you. Anyways, this video has gone a little bit long, I suppose. I'll probably have to cobble a few maps together for this one, so for you guys to check out. I will take off here, and whatever is left will be left for this video. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. I will talk to you guys again next week. I think I'll talk a little bit about Prolander and stuff like that next week. I did get a chance to play a couple matches, so I'll get those ones rendered and put those up as well. Hope you guys enjoy my PAX video. If you have any questions or if you want to meet up sometime, if you're in Seattle or Vancouver, let's get together and have a good time. I will see you guys around. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was so cool. Did you see what I just did?
That was pretty sick.
That was sick. I was about to fire him. Dive out, yes.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
Is that you, Levi? Levi.
Yes. Oh no! Oh! What?
Mission ends in 30
Oh,
seconds.
Nelly, Rosado. I'm amazed I have any points right now.
I was skiing on top of someone's head.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
5, 4, 3,
Thank you.
2, 1. You failed.
Yes.